Welcome to She Sells Ottawa, your go-to podcast for all things real estate and beyond. Featuring your hosts, Sonia Kreitz, Tamara Velati, Corey Kugler, and Tara Kugler. Fun fact, we're not just colleagues who work on different teams, we're amazing friends with a passion for real estate and uplifting our local Ottawa community. Join us for each episode as we dive into the local market trends, share insider tips, and provide invaluable insights. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time homebuyer, She Sells Ottawa is your one-stop shop for useful takeaways and entertaining conversations. So grab your coffee and get ready to be inspired.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're feeling a little spicy this morning. Normally we record on a Thursday, but today is Friday, and we have a real case of the Fridays happening.
We do.
Hi, I'm one of your hosts, Tamara Velati with eXp Realty, and my spicy hosts beside me are...
Well, I'm feeling very spicy today. I'm Tara Kugler, and I'm with Right at Home Realty and one half of the Kugler team.
And I'm feeling just a little bit spicy, and I am Sonia Kreitz with Ottawa Property Gals and Right at Home Realty.
And I'm feeling mucho spicy. I am Corey Kugler, and I'm part of the Kugler team with Right at Home Realty.
Welcome. So it's finally time to reveal who the winner is from last week's bet, ladies.
Oh, no.
So
Okay.
just to refresh your memory, from anyone who watched or listened to the last episode of the four of us, we took a little bet to see if the interest rates would come down in June or not. Mm-hmm. And the winners are...
Okay.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Corey and I. Lucky winners. We guessed there would be 25 basis point drop in June. So what do we get, ladies?
Well, we discussed last week that your prize would be a great tequila.
Tequila.
Yes.
And I happen to bring some very pretty shot glasses.
Happen to bring these shot glasses.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, those are beautiful.
They're a little empty, so
We'll fill those up for you.
These are very sparkly.
Yes, we'll have to
These
post
are
a picture
glamour
of them.
shots.
I feel we could do some real damage if we fill those things up.
These are definitely She Sells Ottawa
They
shot glasses.
are. They're fantastic.
So, ladies, we owe you a date, and we will be providing the tequila, some of the nicest, finest.
Yeah,
I'm
congrats.
looking forward to it. This is
That's
really
what we're
this
expecting.
is a bet, Tara. This is a bet that I'm sure we're happy to lose.
Yeah. I'm not very good at shots.
I know.
I'm fine with losing on
good
this
with
one,
one,
but really happy for the buyers out there who won,
Yes.
a little bit of
They're
a...
the true winners.
they're the true winners here
A
for
little
sure.
reprieve for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so welcome today to another episode of She Sells Ottawa. In today's episode, we will discuss hot topics of what we are seeing in the current market. It seems there's never a dull moment. With a lot of changes happening in Ottawa, we're going to take a closer look at what is exactly going on. We're going to zero in on a very popular neighborhood, the Golden Triangle. This is an incredibly vibrant part of downtown scene. It's just an incredible place to be, to live, to work, to play. We're going to talk about the market in the Golden Triangle as some of our clients and what some of our clients love about the neighborhood. And of course, we're always excited to tell you about a local business we enjoyed there. Yeah. So let's kick it off.
Yeah, so with this big rate drop, how was everyone's week, ladies? Did you find any difference?
Yeah, so with the rate drop, we thought we'd get some opinions from some of our own buyers that we have that were to see what they think.
Yeah. Good idea, Corey.
And so, I talked to some of them, and particularly one who said that they don't feel that this rate drop is going to do anything for them at this time, but they thought that it might bring some buyers out of hiding, which can definitely change the look of the market. I think that psychologically, it's instilling confidence that things are moving in the right directions.
But if you break it down to dollars and cents, it's really not providing that relief that they need just yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
I mean, the day that it happened, I'm sure everybody was getting texts and emails from the mortgage people that they worked at. And I got this really funny text from somebody that we work with, and it says today's interest rate cut means a savings of $21 per 100,000 worth of variable rate or home equity line of credit debt. So that's a lot of smoke flying around the internet for a very low cost savings. Just saying.
Very true. It's very psychological at the moment, and it's just bringing that confidence back. I'd say. And
I think it's a drop in the right direction, and
Definitely.
I think that hopefully we'll see more.
Yeah, I think economists, though, are forecasting that there could be at least 3 more rate drops.
Yeah,
this
there's 4
coming year,
more, right? Yeah.
There's 4 more announcements, and that that there could be rate drops involved in 3 of those. So that's pretty good news. So we could have a very strong summer and fall market. So have you guys talked to your buyers? Have you ladies talked to your buyers, and what did they think?
So I was down in the Golden Triangle and talking to the people that are working and living down there, and really it comes back to affordability. They're looking, but it's not affordable, and their income seems to be going towards their living costs with not much left for savings or investing or having some positive outlook on the future. So hopefully with the changes that we're making in the future, and hopefully we can come up with some solutions to work with people that are really affected by the lack of affordability in the housing market, especially in our city.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we've spoken to a few of our sellers. Actually, we're all waiting for this rate drop, thinking this will again instill confidence in the buyers and bring them out so that they'll have more showings. I don't really notice, at least in this past week, showings going up by any means. I mean, there's always the popular home in the great neighborhood, and that has a lot of
That's
upgrades.
always, right?
Yeah, but that's
They're
the same.
always-
I don't think there's any change really yet. And again, like you say, it's such a small, amount.
Yeah. Back in the pandemic, any home would sell very quickly, but you're right. The ones that are selling quickly still are the great homes in the great neighborhoods.
Yeah, with everything done and priced properly.
Yeah, so back to that.
It's still a step in the right direction.
But you had some clients that, Tamara, that were, you found that things were picking up a little bit on your end?
Showings as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is.
Yeah, so the day that, the listing's sitting on the market and really not having much stimulation, showings slowing right down, price reductions happening and still staying low on the market, well, the showings have started to pick up again.
Great.
Okay, that's
So,
good.
yeah, as soon as the rate announcement was dropped, and a lot of us were predicting that as well, although we didn't predict it to drop so soon.
Yeah. True.
We did.
Well, we did.
Keep rubbing it in. I'm going to fill this little glass here for you, Sonia. So something interesting that's been introduced into our school system is the financial literacy course.
Yes.
So we've been discussing affordability. We've been discussing for a very long time that learning how to balance a checkbook should be introduced at a very early age in the school systems. Well,
Sorry,
finally,
what is a checkbook?
yeah, right. I'm just kidding. Okay, I may be showing my age right now.
You are.
All of our listeners are like,
What's
so what's
that?
a checkbook? Okay. Fast forward a few decades. Just to figure out the money coming in and the money going out, and savings, and creating that financial awareness at a young age, just to understand what it's going to take when they finally get into the adulting part of their lives. And this course couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah.
It's just really on the cutting edge of solving and helping solve solutions with affordability, and it really does come to affecting with the younger generation and setting them up for success. And coming into this course that's finally going to be taking place, it's
It's mandatory, I think, eh?
It is going to be mandatory in the math grade 10, I think, class. Very interesting. Could not come soon enough.
Yeah,
Could not come soon enough.
exactly.
I mean, I just, seeing and how I was even growing up, this course would have been so beneficial to me.
True. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times I use algebra day to day, but I know that I need to balance my budgets every day and, pay my mortgage every day. And these are all things I should have learned a long time ago. In school would have been very helpful. Even just as a young person, I'm going to Ottawa Senators games, and they're, setting up booths for credit cards, and, sign up for this credit card and get a free hockey jersey. How tempting is that, right? So
when you're young too.
when
It's
you're
like
young,
wow.
and now you have this $500 credit card and a free shirt, and they don't know what to do with it, and they don't know the responsibilities of it, and now they take it and they start charging things to it, and they're not paying it back on time. And so this little tiny credit card with a small limit will affect you 5, 6, 7 years down the road when you go to buy a car, or when your credit rating is totally messed
there.
up because
Yeah.
they didn't have those tools. So I think this is going to be a fantastic addition to
Absolutely.
the curriculum.
So this is being implemented in September 2025 as part of the grade 10 math program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Students will need to achieve a mark of 70% or higher to pass the new requirement and earn their high school diploma. So thank you for this. Thank you for this happening.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so this course will be really great. I mean, it'll avoid all types of credit nightmares.
Yeah, and speaking of nightmares, have you heard that we have a new nightmare?
Nice.
Good job.
Apparently he doesn't love that name, but so yeah, we have Ottawa has its first nightmare coming from Montreal. Mathieu Grandin has been given the official title of the Nightlife Commissioner.
Amazing.
Yeah, Matthew previously founded Montreal's 2424, a nonprofit that supports nightlife development by destigmatizing nightlife activities. Welcome, Matthew.
Welcome.
Certainly.
Welcome.
Hopefully I
Excited to have you.
pronounced that properly.
Mathieu.
Matthew. We
Bonjour.
certainly needed some help here. I think it's going to be great for Ottawa and for our economy. And I've also heard that Ottawa will be getting a new venue for bands to come play here. We usually get skipped over for Montreal or Toronto.
So true, yep.
Yeah, not sure if you remember Barrymore's Music Hall.
I sure do.
I
Did
do,
you attend
yeah.
there? Unfortunately, they died out with COVID,
Yeah.
but they have a new place that's opening.
Where?
And yeah, so we have a new venue, concert venue, and it's in the old chapters on Rideau. It's been leased by entertainment company Live Nation Canada. So this is all good news for Ottawa, and it might actually help our downtown listings and sales.
Yes.
Great revitalization, absolutely.
Yes, it'll drive entertainment back into the downtown core.
It's going to be quite large too. I think like a 2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I think they can hold up to 2,000. I'm not sure if they're
2,000 seats, yeah.
deciding how many they're actually going to put in, but it'll be big. It'll
Yeah,
be great.
perfect
Great
location.
venue.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all fantastic things happening.
So that's so interesting. And another interesting thing news that happened this week was, I'm sure you might have seen it, but Royal LePage announced the 15 most affordable cities to live in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, Ottawa is not on the list, unfortunately.
Elsa Breeze.
But Thunder Bay topped the list as the most affordable.
Lovely.
So any of you guys interested in moving to Thunder Bay?
Maybe not.
Great prices there.
Not yet.
There's some picturesque places there. I've been there before. Yeah. So I'm not going to get into all the details, but we'll attach a list in our show notes about the top 15 affordable cities. But what we thought was really interesting was that Gatineau made the top 15 list. And we know a lot of our buyers here in Ottawa are often tempted to make the move across the river due to the affordability. Yeah, so although home prices are significantly less there's lots of things to consider before considering a move over to Gatineau. And we'll discuss the pros and cons in detail of a move to Gatineau in the next episode, but it is quite interesting just because it's right there and it is more affordable. But again, there's a lot more context to just moving to a new province, and I think we can get into that. I think we can even make an episode out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's brought up constantly by buyers.
Totally.
So I think that is a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tara. That's super interesting. But let's move on back over to the Ottawa side and see how our market is doing here locally. Sonia, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so the real estate stats for May came out, and the title is Smooth and Cautious, which is the perfect description of how buyers were feeling this past month. So a little bit on the numbers side. So overall, the benchmark price was $651,300 in May, and a little marginal gain of 1.2% up from last May. Okay. And then single family homes were up slightly by 1.1% to 736,000. This is based on, from past May. And then townhomes and row units were 517,500 as the average, up by 2.1%. And then condos, 425,000, up by 2% from a year ago. So just some interesting stats. And the other thing that I found was interesting is that how many days on market for May? Well, we're down to 19 days on average throughout Ottawa.
That's much lower than last month, I believe.
Yeah, it is. And then a lot of sellers would like to know this, but how many showings on average before you actually get an offer? And so the average was 8 showings.
Oh, okay.
This is a really important stat.
That
Yeah.
is super
Great
important.
information.
So if your sellers have had like 12, 15 showings, what might that mean?
Exactly.
We did another podcast on that, I think.
Yes, we
did.
It's the price.
It's the price.
And then the list to sale ratio is at 98 to 99% in most areas to asking price of what they're getting. So,
Great.
Yeah. So technically it's a seller's market due to months of inventory, but it appears to be, possibly shifting. It is still sort of balanced in some areas, and potentially with another rate drop, it could definitely shift again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's moving in the right direction. So speaking of the stats, how many people do you think are moving from the rural areas of our city back into the city center thanks to the mandated back-to-work legislation that was just passed?
Oh gosh, yeah. We have a lot of our government clients that have been, moaning about that. They're, going down to at least 3 days right now, and then talking about going back full time. But I don't think the setup is there.
Yeah, I think they're still working on it. Each government group is doing their own thing with their own people. But as soon as this information hits the news, it sort of trickles down into our business. Every time
We feel those effects.
Yes, and as soon as it was announced that week, I had 2 buyers reaching out to me to look to move back into the city. One was moving back to the city because they were going back to work. They wanted to keep their property that was out of town, and they wanted a secondary property to use for the week. And then the second buyer decided that, okay, well, we know we're going back to work, but we're in the West End for our government job, and we now want to move a little bit. We want to get more land. We want to set up. We're fine with the commute. We know what we're getting into, how many years left we have to do this. And so they are wanting the 1 acre plus properties
So
and
that's
moving
good
out.
to see that it's not just going to be a massive exodus from the rural areas. So there's still going to be attractiveness to moving out to a rural area, but I think a lot of people are coming back in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like the rural areas just feel so much closer now all of a sudden.
They do.
I mean, commuting for an hour now doesn't seem like it could be the worst thing. Since the pandemic, I just feel like everything's just
It's coming in
grown.
closer.
And everything, the rural areas, what I used to think were, Stittsville was, when Stittsville
Was dirt
that
roads, yeah.
miles away, miles and miles. But just, having Carlton Place and Kemptville, they all feel quite close into the city
Yes.
for me. So I think that's
well, the development is kind of all merging into each other,
Barhaven
right?
to
And then new
Manotick,
roads
yeah.
and new, leeways.
Stittsville into Richmond and
Yeah, they're all kind of
Yeah.
connecting.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, Tamara. Yeah.
Yeah, so talking about moving back into the city from more outlying areas, I think one of the biggest necessities for people is to keep their outdoor living spaces, their connection to nature, and what better way than to install that into your own backyard and create your own backyard, ready for it, ladies? Oasis.
All together
Oasis
now.
terms never used in real
Oasis.
estate.
No, we never use that term.
Your primary bedroom is an oasis.
Your basement is
An oasis. Your ensuite.
An oasis.
An oasis too.
We do like that word a lot in real estate.
So we're going into the backyard oasis space, and we're going to be talking about investments and what you can do to your backyard to give you the best return on your investment. We're also going to talk about new features. You have so much opportunity, what you can do in your backyard. You can take some great inspiration from places you've been and seen, and spas and luxurious resorts, and bring it into your backyard.
Yeah, inexpensively or expensively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of ranges when it comes to backyards. And there was a recent NARS study done recently, and this is really interesting.
Yeah, so the NAR study, it's the National Association of Realtors. So it's a bit more American, but it does show your cost recovery on outdoor remodeling projects. So basically your return on investment of what you should get. So landscape maintenance, you're actually getting a return of 104%. An outdoor kitchen, which is really popular now, you're getting 100% return.
Wow.
New patio, 95%. A new deck, around 89%. Irrigation system, 83%. Landscape lighting, which is really important, and there's been so many more trends for that, and that is 59%. Just add a fire feature, you get 56% return, and then interestingly, an in-ground pool only gives you 56%.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so
Very
some interesting stats there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway from the NAR study is, just put a propane fire table and a few plastic Adirondack chairs around it, and you've increased the value on your investment.
So easy.
So easy.
So simple.
Couple
So
of throw
simple.
blankets.
Couple throw blankets. Yeah.
Some marshmallows.
It's a vibe.
Hot dogs, exactly. We're
It's a
good to
lifestyle.
go.
Yeah, I
Weenies
love
on a
that.
stick.
Yeah, so just last week, one of our listeners wrote in, Byron. He wrote us and asked, how much value does a deck add and what percentage of the backyard should the deck occupy? So to answer your question, Byron, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association, decks can add an average of 10.4% to the value of a home. This means that for a $600,000 house, a deck could add an additional $62,400 in value. It could also detract if the deck is old and needs to be torn down. A new deck can provide up to 80% return on investment in added property value. So if you invest $30,000 in a new deck, your property value may increase by $24,000 or 80% of $30,000.
Wow.
So I think that's pretty
That's
interesting.
significant.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
really
significant.
interesting.
Yeah.
And then composite decking, is obviously one of the new better qualities that we're seeing.
Yeah, in decking, you have several choices, and the composite decking being one of them. Or you can go with the pressure treated or a cedar deck. And if you're comparing pricing, the composite decks are more of an investment. Pressure treated is the least amount of money, but you're looking at the initial cost investment and no maintenance and longevity. So you're using
So you
materials
don't have to do it as often.
these materials don't break down as quickly in the environment, whereas a wood deck needs maintenance.
Yes.
Exposed wood breaks down very quickly, and then on when you're on resale, when you're looking at these things, that's where these things really come into play. If your deck has not been maintained, or if you have these composite materials, you're actually increasing your value even more.
Yeah.
The only thing with composite that you have to bear in mind is that they're very hot.
Yep.
So for kids and pets with their little bare feet, composite decks can get very, very hot in the summer. So when you've got direct sunlight, that is something to take into account.
I guess you can get
An awning
a rug or
Yes, a
awning.
rug or an
Yeah,
awning,
might
but
be
yeah,
helpful.
they get very, very hot.
Yeah.
And Tara, how much of a deck space do you think is good?
Yeah, I mean, we do, every time we take our buyers out to look at a property, and, decking is so important, I find, in Canada right now for entertaining, and everyone just loves having a deck in the backyard. But I find if there's too much deck, if the deck is too big,
So size matters.
so
Yes.
what I'm saying is size matters.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the size
Okay.
of the deck matters.
Do tell us more.
Our buyers are a little bit let down when they see that a deck is too big and taking up too much space of the backyard and there's no green space. Now, this can vary, depending on where you are in the city and where we're looking and from client to client. But we find for the most part, having a ratio of deck to grass is important for most families and most people. However, if you get into more of the urban setting downtown, it might be okay to have more deck and hardscaping. But when you're in the suburbs, I find leave space for the grass, have at least a little bit of grass. But I say,
True.
a good ratio of deck to grass is always important to most of our buyers, I find, at least.
Yeah, that's what I find too. They always say, well, they have a dog they want to let out on the grass, and they've got kids that want to run around a little
Yeah.
bit. So yeah.
Yes, and there's a big trend in starting to grow your outdoor produce. So the more that you can
This is so true. Seeing
grow
so
to
much
save
of
Food
that.
is expensive.
Food is expensive,
Yeah.
and this is a big trend that I would love to see continue, and I would love to see the use of more outdoor greenhouses, so that people can start growing longer into the seasons, and really starting making an impact on their community, because we can all get involved in this and sharing, and
I love that.
sharing
Yeah,
the
I love
produce.
that too.
Yeah, very much.
So what are some more of the outdoor spaces or the exterior, let's say, aspects that we want to talk about? Because there's so many now that add value or that people
Yeah.
can just enjoy. And, keep in mind that people should be installing these things well before they want to move, so they can
Yes.
actually get enjoyment out of them before they move rather than
what do you
just
think
doing it.
Corey, what do you think about a pool? Does that add value
right.
or anymore? I know
As
during
Tara
COVID,
and I both have pools.
we both have pools.
Well,
yeah.
okay, so pools, like, I know during COVID, it was like those houses were so sought after and went for, maybe $100,000 more than a house without. At this point, that's not the case. So really, pools don't add a whole lot of value at this time. However, if you're a buyer and you want a pool, you're a big winner because, because you'll get the benefit of this pool without actually having to pay a lot of dollars for
and
it.
the time and exactly.
So the value is in the eyes of the buyer on that one for sure.
Yes, but then also we're looking at the property with the pool. Is that pool occupying the entire backyard?
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Is there some other living spaces?
Kind of like a deck, right?
Kind
Is
of
it
like a
taking up
deck.
too much space?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Exactly.
And then that's a big deterrent from.
Agreed, yeah.
So pools don't really offer that much return on your investment at this time, but if you want a pool, it definitely adds to your.
Considering they went up double since COVID or
and the
even
cost
more.
of a pool right now
what
with
is that?
fencing and hardscaping, I mean, they can go, a basic pool without anything can be like $50,000, but if you add, again, a bigger pool, hardscaping, the fencing,
Which you have to
have.
What you have to have.
you're going to be $100,000 plus, $100,000 to $150,000 easily to do like a really nice backyard pool.
So we're getting into the luxury items here.
Exactly.
This is a luxury item,
Yep.
and if it suits your lifestyle. So we have lots of clients, and I mean people sitting around this table that couldn't live without a pool, and so there is a big, there is that big value if you are someone who wants that lifestyle to putting it into your backyard.
Yes.
Taking into consideration scale and price and all the rest of it, and how long you're going to be living and enjoying the space.
Right.
That's
So
the biggest determinant.
It might be beneficial to find a home that already has a pool so that you don't have to pay the cost of putting it in.
Yes.
As long as it's been maintained.
And I guess for resale, it really depends on the buyer because we have
kinda
clients
split.
that are only looking for homes with pools. So everything else is a no-go. If it doesn't have a pool, they're not looking.
And then our last buyers didn't want a pool at
Yeah,
all
that was
under any
us.
circumstance.
They don't
a
want
no.
one under any circumstance. So these
Yeah.
days, I think it's really
Split.
for your return on investment. It's very split.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're still popular, though. I find.
Yeah,
People love a
absolutely.
pool.
And there's a lot of different things. So I think also the sunroom is another thing that I'm seeing a lot more people put in. I find they're a lot more affordable. You can do some, add-ons. They can make a completely extra space to your home.
Especially if you're doing, it depends if you're doing 3-season or 4-season.
Right.
So 3-season is like maybe, it's nice to have, but I think the 4-season is where you actually get the return on your investment.
But even
as
just
it
away
creates
from the
living space
buzz,
for you.
just in the
Oh,
summer
God, yeah.
months and just
It's wonderful.
it's wonderful. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you had clients that had one put in?
Yeah, so we did have clients that ended up putting in a 4-season and a very large 4-season,
nice.
4-season sunroom, and it's just beautiful. Our clients are using their sunroom exclusively. They're using it like winter, spring, summer, and fall. Constantly, they have their meals out there. It's temperature controlled. They love watching the birds out there, watching the snow fall in the winter.
Beautiful.
Watching the seasons change. So it was a game changer for them.
Yeah, and Corey, I actually obtained your the company that you
That
used
they
for
used,
that
yes.
for our clients because they really wanted to get. I think they were looking more at a 3-season, but thanks for that referral, and we'll put that in the
Yeah,
show
of
notes as
course.
well for anyone else because they were really happy with that service and company. Yeah, so Tamara, you have been talking about your backyard, and you're in the midst of creating your backyard oasis.
Yes, as we speak.
Yeah.
As we speak, it's happening. So so we've tossed over the plans. We've tossed over the thoughts of having a pool. Do we put in a pool? Do we not put in a pool? What's happening in the backyard? And we have still not fully decided if the pool is going in or not, but we have some space that we're working on till we get to the side of the house where all of that is happening. So in the backyard right now, we are doing an outdoor kitchen. So this is one of the big features that it's going to really extend your living experience, your entertaining. If you have the space in the backyard, You can do an outdoor kitchen pretty economically and pretty reasonably. These outdoor kitchens get really huge in cost. I know you can spend $30,000-$40,000 just on appliances.
Ooh.
So,
but the big question is, will it be ready for us this summer?
yes, as we speak.
Okay.
Barbecue at your house. The pool may or may not be in.
I'm asking the important question.
Yes, the outdoor. Yes, the bar will be set up.
Okay.
Okay, done.
The chef will be there.
Tequila.
Yes, and we will be there to enjoy it certainly. But you know, one of my biggest tips if you're looking at increasing living space and wanting just to move that flow from inside to outside your house, start off really slow and really basic. Take a look at what you're looking at, what you have, what decking is there, what stairs move out to the backyard. Take a look at that, and if you have a deck that needs to be repaired or it's just like on its last legs, and I would just get rid of it. I would get rid of the entire deck. I'd create some really nice stairs coming from the patio doors to your backyard, and then I would just do flooring out there. You can decide.
Like
you can
stones.
do stones,
Yeah.
interlock,
Hardscaping. Yep.
Sure.
There's some beautiful
concrete.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of concrete.
Yeah, I love concrete.
I have
too.
a huge
Yeah.
pad board
I
in the
love that,
backyard.
yeah.
Our front is concrete as well. It's timeless. It's a
Yeah.
great look. It's a great feel.
It's a clean look.
It's clean looking.
Doesn't get weedy.
It doesn't get hot on your feet.
That's true,
It's
yeah,
sidewalks.
good
It's
point.
like you could walk on the sidewalk. And a lot of people are doing so concrete. Just to give you an idea of cost for a concrete pad, you're looking at between $25 and $30 a square foot. So if you're building a 20 by 20, I would say a 20 by 20 pad is quite
That's a
nice.
good size.
You can fit, I'll get into, what is necessary out there to create that space, but you can fit pretty much everything on there, and you're looking at roughly $12,000 for that.
That's not bad.
If you're comparing it to composite
Oh,
or
yeah.
a wood deck,
Yeah,
a
true.
20
Oh, my
by 20
goodness.
wood deck, you're
It's
moving.
way up there.
It's way up there. So these are really good things to explore and look into when you're deciding on what can I do. Start with what you're looking at, create the space you want, and then if you're really easy, if you want to do a real simple kitchen outside, you have a barbecue, you need a countertop, maybe an outdoor bar with a couple stools that you can pick up very easily. And really just create the flow, have the space to sit, have the space to eat.
I love
you have your
that.
cooking space. I'd put a little bit of storage out there, as well as some good countertop space so you can prepare stuff, and a garbage.
Yeah.
Space for a garbage with a lid that you can
Keep those
Do
rodents
everything out
away.
there.
and
yeah,
stuff.
so that you can just stay outside, entertain, do all your cooking.
There's so many things right now outside, right? So many new features.
Yeah, there's so
You
many
know?
cool features. And talk to me about this. You
Outdoor
were mentioning
shower.
this outdoor shower. I want to
Yeah,
know
the
more.
outdoor shower sounds
Well,
cool too.
I think I'm on a trend here.
Okay.
I think I'm starting a little bit of a trend. So I'm just taking inspiration from places I've been, and really want that spa experience in my backyard. So the concrete is the start of the mix. It's and just going back to the concrete really, really quickly. A lot of people are doing stamped concrete.
Yeah, I love that.
And it is really nice, and I just want to take people into a new vision of moving away from a little bit of the stamped concrete and just do your broom finished concrete.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah.
It is
Beautiful.
It's deluxe, and it
Yeah.
really is very zenful. It's saran. It actually stays a lot cleaner, and then you can just you can put anything on it anywhere you'd like. And then adding on to it, coming into this outdoor shower experience. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
yes, it's. I want to create this outdoor salt rubs space.
Very
because-
Nordic spa.
Very
or,
Nordic spa.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
that does sound nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're friends.
Yes, and it's all happening. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Cannot wait. We can't wait either.
I can't wait to have it.
Yeah, and so another popular trend that I'm seeing is the outdoor saunas. So the
Yes,
the
the
barrel
barrel.
saunas,
Those are
or
wonderful. Yeah.
so those are fantastic, and I've been trying to talk Tamara into having one of those too. Everything that we
Can
want.
you also get a hot tub and
Swim spas
A
are
real
the other
oasis,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. we can give you all the ideas and you can spend the money.
Yes.
So something important I think we really need to touch on is fencing.
Yes.
That comes up quite a bit and can be a big dispute. It can be a legal thing.
Yeah.
So we recently had neighbors reach out about, replacing the fence. Ours is in terrible shape. We do need to replace it at some point. They've decided to hold off, but it was a whole thing of who pays for what. One neighbor is willing to split the cost, the other just can't afford it. And then the neighbor behind us, people that are a bit further back, they're tenants. So I'm trying to reach the landlord, that's not going to happen. So we've decided to hold off, but one neighbor said, well, they have to pay half. Well, that's not the case. So especially having a pool, you're actually, you're the one responsible for making sure that there's a fence.
Yeah.
So yes, exactly.
And for the full cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a pool as well, but we have the cedar hedges all the way around.
Nice.
Which is good and bad, I have to say. So there is a fence
Right around the
within the cedar hedges,
Right.
but they're not high. The fence isn't high enough,
Legal,
so we had to actually build a fence, or the previous owners built a fence around the swimming pool.
Okay.
But I have to say, the cedar hedges, nice and private. However, they need a lot of maintenance. They do die, and they leave you with some brown. Just twigs, and it's kind of gappy and holy. You can see through them after a while, so you just really have to be on top of your cedar hedges too in terms of maintenance. Lovely again for privacy, but again, it's a lot of upkeep for sure to get them trimmed all the time.
Yeah.
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 And
that's
if
for
your
sure.
if your neighbors are not going to agree to split a fence with you, then you have to make sure that you're putting the fence 6 inches into your property
Yeah.
line. So 6 inches is the key number that you have to know for that.
Good point.
So all this talk about fencing really makes me want to spice things up a little bit. So let's change directions here, and let's talk about one of Ottawa's most coveted neighborhoods, the Golden Triangle.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is such a vibrant district, and it's not just a hub for government workers returning to the office, but it's a hotspot for upscale dining, charming cafes, and cool cultural attractions.
Yes, it's a four seasons of recreation. Really,
Yeah.
when you live and love and play and eat and work all in one space, this is the lifestyle we've been talking about.
That's right.
Curating this place where you can really just enjoy the vibrancy of our city. You're connected to all the festivals that are happening. You can walk home from Canada Day festivities.
Just leave your car at home all the time. You're walking everywhere.
You've got the canal right there to
Elgin, yeah.
Yeah, for 4 seasons, you can be on that space and really enjoy the recreation that has. City Hall is right there.
Yeah, it's so picturesque too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And did you know why they call it the Golden Triangle?
It looks like a triangle.
Yeah, well, its name comes from the shape of the neighborhood coming to a point when the Rideau Canal and Elgin Street meet.
Yeah,
Isn't that
fun
interesting?
That is
Fun
interesting.
fact.
Right
Exactly.
at the police station.
Right, okay. I'm
So
learning.
in terms of stats in the Golden Triangle, at this moment there are 11 active listings in the Golden Triangle, 9 condos and 2 freehold. The condos range from $420,000 for a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath to $810,000 at this time. The 2 freehold properties are listed at $774,000. And the one I'm in love with at 29 Somerset is listed, I think Sonia is too.
I am too.
Is listed at 1.749 million, and it's a true representation of the typical architecture of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So-
we wanted to book that, but there was an owner there, and we didn't think
Yeah,
we
I
wanted to
think
disturb them.
yeah, we want to see it so
do wanna see
badly.
that.
We want to sell it.
So how would
badly,
you
too.
describe the look then of the architecture there? It's just old charm.
Yeah.
Boston brownstones.
Totally,
It's
right?
totally,
okay,
yeah.
that's what I think. It's just very quaint and intricate details, and just has a nice.
I think we should put a link to that in the show notes because people will want to see it. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
let's link it. Let's link
It
that
is
home to the
gorgeous.
show
We'll
notes
link
for
that
sure.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a taste of the style.
Yeah.
And
in the
shout if you
past-
want to buy it.
Yeah, for sure. And in the past month, 7 condos have sold and 1 freehold, with the condos ranging from $320,000 to $1.925
Wow, that's the
million.
spread.
So a lot more condos and freehold for sure. So there's a lot of condominiums in the area, as you can see. So there's 1 freehold, 2-bed, 1-bath townhome on Frank Street, sold for $738,000. So yeah, if you want to see any properties in the Golden Triangle, especially that one for 1.749, please reach out. We want to show it so badly.
Yes, and if you didn't want to spend that much money to live in the Golden Triangle, one of my most favorite buildings has a condo available, the Merit at 108 Lisker.
Beautiful.
Great location.
Yes, it's a beautiful building designed by Barry Hoban, and it's a very sought after. It has a remarkable rooftop patio. So when you move into this building, you have all the amenities, your proximity to downtown. And there's one available right now for $4.99. It has a parking spot included.
You're tempting me.
Oh, it has a parking spot.
It does.
That's good.
Okay, that's rare.
I know, and it's that building was built, I believe, in 2014, so it's relatively new. And I'm not looking at the listing right now, but I know that the condo fees are low, like
Wow.
it's
Okay.
under
So worth
500,
looking at.
I
So
believe.
There's some deals to be had still in the area of Golden Triangle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So if you are considering moving down here, there's opportunities.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And if you're moving there, you're definitely going to want to enjoy, all the different pubs and restaurants and hair salons and other businesses there.
Well, we certainly have been.
Yes. We were able to enjoy our local community spotlight, which is Union Local 613. And it's at 315 Somerset West between Bank and O'Connor. And it's in the Somerset Village. It was a fantastic patio day.
The sun came out for us that day, so we got to sit on the patio, the charming patio.
And we took a lot of photos inside and out. And the food was spectacular.
Yeah, not your regular menu pub food.
Spin on Southern, like sort of elevated Southern. The duck wings were amazing.
It's the
They
first
were
time
like,
I've had that.
yeah, so fun.
Yeah. And Matt was our server, and he put up with us.
Shout out to
took
Matt.
a few photos for us. Thank you.
Appreciate your patience,
Thanks,
Matt.
So we had a great time.
Yeah, and the street itself, there's so many nice restaurants on the street. It's just a charming vibe out there. There were other restaurants, too, that kind of sandwiched into Union 613. And they were Arlo, Prohibition, Trophy, and one restaurant that we just love the name of and we're going to have to try there is called Buyers and Sellers. So we're definitely going to have to give that one a try as well. And then there was a really cool hair salon across the street, Fernandino, I believe,
Yeah,
from
that's the one.
across the street from Union 613. And a lady was sitting outside, and they kind of have a patio out there as well. So she had foils in her hair.
Love it.
The sun was shining. I think she had a glass of champagne.
She did.
Yeah, I mean, it was
jealous.
such a cool thing to see. So
And
what
it looked fun, like not, not out of place. It
Not
looked like
at all.
definitely in keeping with the area.
it was a cool experience down there, and we did not want to leave. We wanted to stay all afternoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
these restaurants and these bars, they're taking over the streets as well. You can, in the summertime, so coming up in July and August, you'll be able to go out there and spend some time right on the street. So from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 12 to 11 Saturdays and Sundays, they close that portion of Somerset between O'Connor and Bank.
Yes.
Like that's pedestrian only.
I went a few years back. They opened this up as a response to COVID back in our beautiful COVID time when the restaurants were all closing. So on July 3rd of 2020, they opened up. They had great response, and they've kept it up. So this is sort of
Love that they
Yeah,
kept
they put
it.
the patios right out onto the street. They
Right
have
on the
umbrellas.
street.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you sit out there. There's entertainment. They have pianists. Different
Just
things
hear the
happening.
music now with a nice glass of wine or something.
It is incredible. It's it's a vibe.
Yeah, and just showing my age, but back in the day, we used to go to the Duke of Somerset. So I don't know if anyone knows that. We used to actually go on Sundays, very popular, and listen to Jimmy George. So anyone my age, shout out to that.
Well, I am your age, and I don't know.
And I feel like I'm close to your age, and I don't know.
And I feel like
it was
I'm
a great
way
time.
older, and I don't know anything about it.
Okay, please, any listeners that
Sonia,
know what I'm
Could
talking
somebody
about,
please validate what Sonia's saying or
because we think she's
confirm?
making it up that this was true.
Okay.
Sonia, you're alone.
Listeners, speak up.
Thank you for joining us on this episode. Today, we took a deep dive into the heart of real estate in our vibrant city. As we wrap up, let's remember Franklin D. Roosevelt's wise words. Real estate is about the safest investment in the world. This quote reminds us of the lasting value and potential in the real estate market. We hope you found this episode both inspiring and enlightening. We'd love it if you shared the knowledge and positivity with your friends and family. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to She Sells Ottawa to stay updated on our latest episodes. Until next time, let's continue exploring the endless possibilities that real estate offers in our beautiful city of Ottawa. See you in the next episode.
Bye. See you in the next episode.
See you next time.
Bye. Spicy.
Thank you for tuning into She Sells Ottawa. Remember, manifesting your dream home starts with believing it's possible and taking those steps towards making it a reality. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit the like button, follow us for more great content, and subscribe to stay updated with all our latest episodes. Until next time, keep dreaming big and happy house hunting.